to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Kyla, and in this video we're going to talk about all the books that I plan on reading in the month of November. I actually still can't believe we're here. I feel like October equally flew by and dragged on at the same time. And I don't mean dragged on as in I wish the time away, because I love October. It is my favorite month of the year. But I feel like reading wise, it really dragged on. October was a mediocre reading month for me at best. So this month, we have a very Kyla reading month. I feel like I'm getting back into my fantasy era, which did I ever leave it? No. Actually, in October, I kind of wish that I was there a little bit more. But regardless, we're just gonna let October go. And in November, we're bringing it back. I have so much fantasy on this list. I also have some thrillers, some other things as well, which we will talk about. I have some video plans. It's all gonna be discussed in this video. So yeah, let's just dive in. First, let's talk about book clubs. I actually have only one book for a book club, but it actually serves the purpose of multiple book clubs because multiple book clubs are reading this book this month. That is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. This is her newest release, and I could not be more stoked about it. I loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife so much. It is one of my favorite dark academia thrillers, if not my favorite dark academia thriller, because that book is something. That book is something. I didn't necessarily enjoy The Last Housewife so much, but it wasn't horrible. But I am excited to explore this one. I am a little bit nervous as well because there are some things in here that I think I'll really enjoy, but also there's some things in here that I sometimes don't enjoy that much in books. So in this one, we are following a librarian, which I love that. I love when we have something to do with books within books, right? Love that. But she lives in a small town that is very religion heavy, and I'm scared that this is going to be very religious, and it's not my favorite thing to read, okay? I've read a few books recently that have been heavy on the religion, and they're just not my jam. So I'm equally nervous, but I'm excited because it's Ashley Winstead, and I love her writing so much, and I feel like she does dark really well. So I'm excited to see how dark we get. I mean, the darkest hour, right? This also sounds like it's gonna have a tiny bit of fantastical elements to it. And honestly, I don't know what to think because this is said to be fans of Verity and A Flicker in the Dark, which that's an interesting combo and an interesting way to grab people in, because I feel like Verity is so polarizing for so many people. Anyways, I could ramble on, but I'm reading this for Gabby's book club, the Book Troop, but also I think it's the Literary Dead book club as well, and I think there's a few others that are also reading this. So really, I'll just be on all of the live shows at the end of the month or beginning of December and discussing all of the thoughts on this. But I am excited but nervous to read it. And I have a couple of vlogs planned for November. The first one is going to be reading new fantasy because there are quite a few new fantasy that I am very excited about, and I have a list of books that I could fit into this. Will be some time constraints here, so we'll have to see what I end up prioritizing. But the first book on the list is After the Forest by Kell. This is said to be Hansel and Gretel, but after the fact. So after everything has gone down with Hansel and Gretel, this is them 20 years later, almost unpacking the trauma of what happened and also following them in present day. And in here it says that Hans has a gambling problem and he's deeply in debt, and Greta has some sort of secret. So we're kind of unpacking what's going on with them. and obviously some things happen, and like I just am so obsessed with this cover. I just cannot. It is absolutely stunning, and I just cannot wait to see how this explores them now and like everything they've gone through and everything that they are going through. So I'll definitely be prioritizing this one. And then of course we have two of my most anticipated releases. We have Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree. This is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, and like I just could not be more excited. I also just feel like I need a little bit of cozy in my life, and like what better to bring the cozy than Travis Baldree, because he does cozy so well. And I'm excited to see like how the stakes are in this book, because Legends and Lattes is like low stakes, like almost no stakes. But this is the prequel. This is what happened to Viv beforehand. So I'm excited to see kind of like how high stakes they are. I don't think it's gonna be high stakes, but I'm excited to see how he does that and just follow her and like see how she came to be and like wanting and like what she went through to kind of want to hang up her sword, shall we say. So that will definitely be included. I don't have a copy yet because it's not out yet, but as soon as it's out, I'm running to the bookstore to get myself a copy. And then we have Iron Flame. Are we ready? I'm not sure we are ready. I'm not sure, but you know what? It's happening. It comes out on November 7th. I have pre-ordered it, so I'm sure I'll get it a couple of days afterwards. Oh my god, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Like, I truly cannot say anything about this book without spoiling anything that happens at the end of Fourth Wing. So I don't know if I will include this in the vlog, because I do find that vlogging sequels is very difficult, and especially where it is so brand new. But I don't know, I might just find the need to vlog my experience. We'll have to see. I've also had my eye on Bittersweet in the Hollow. This cover, as soon as I saw it, I was like, stunning. Absolutely stunning, and like I need to know what this book is about immediately. And all I know about this one is it's a dark like YA fantasy slash mystery, and this one follows four sisters who have mysterious talents, and there's something in their family secrets, and I just need to read this to you because this is what really like gripped me into this one. It says, for fans of House of Hollow and Wilder Girls, in rural Cabin Hollow, surrounded by the vast national forest, the James women serve up more than fried green tomatoes at the Harvest Moon Diner, where the family recipes are not the only secrets. Stop it right there. I love fried green tomatoes. That movie is so disturbing, but so incredible. It's so incredible. That in your synopsis, and I'm gonna show up for it. You give me this cover and then you put that in the synopsis. Stop it. I'm here for it. So I would love to include this one as well. So if I don't include Iron Flame in that video, it's all gonna be mood reading anyway, so we'll just have to see what's included, but I'm just giving you the list, the rundown of like what could possibly happen this month, and I would love to get to this one. Fried green tomatoes, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So that's for the new fantasy. And then I also am wanting to do a round 2 of my Dark Academia vlog. So last November, I did a Dark Academia vlog. If you haven't seen it, I will link it above as well as below in the description. I had so much fun with that vlog. I love Dark Academia, so I want to continue this series. I didn't mean for it to go a year before I did the next one, but here we are, and apparently this is now a November thing. So I have some books that I would like to include in that vlog as well. So the first book for that is Ace of Spades. I have had this on my TBR for so long and wanting to include it in a video somehow, and the time has come because it is a dark academia. It's a YA dark academia thriller, and so it is the perfect time. Y'all know I am a YA girly and I cannot wait to read this one. And to be honest, I actually don't really know that much about it other than it follows, I believe, two main students at a private school, of course, because that is where the dark academia comes in. And there's like this anonymous texter who is threatening to bring secrets to life, almost like a Pretty Little Liars situation. But I also know that this book has a lot of social commentary about racism and class and that kind of thing. And I love when YA thrillers and horror include that in there. I just think, one, it's obviously really important, but two, just makes the story that much more gripping, and I can't wait to get to this one. So we have Ace of Spades, and then we have another YA. I told you, this is a very Kyla TBR. We have another YA, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a series that I have been wanting to dive into and still have not for some reason, and I know that this is dark academia as well, a beloved dark academia series to some. I know that some people find it a little bit drawn out, but like, I'm a series gal. I do not mind when things happen throughout a series, so I have a feeling this is going to be right up my alley. Again, I actually don't know too much about this. The only thing that I know about it is that it takes place in Vermont, which like is perfect for this time of year. I'm a New England gal. I've said it before, New England in the fall is by far superior. So I love that this takes place in Vermont, and I'm hoping that it will give me all of those fall vibes. So we have Truly Devious, and then we have the mammoth that has been haunting me for a year now. Will this actually make it into the video, and will I actually read it this month? I make no guarantees, but it is staring at me, and I feel like if there's any time that I'm going to read it, it should be now, and it should be in that video, and it's Babel. Okay, I bought this on my Gilmore trip last year. Me and my best friend did a Gilmore girls trip, and it was fantabulous. Highly recommend. We went to all the places that the show was inspired by, and we went to like the inn where Amy Sherman Palladino actually stayed and wrote Gilmore Girls. Anyways, it's the whole thing. I have a vlog. I'll also link it below. Yeah, I bought this last year on that trip with the intention of reading it either on that trip or like shortly after. And here we are a year later, and I'm honestly terrified because this has such mixed reviews. I have some people in my life that have really not enjoyed this, and some people that I follow that have really enjoyed it. So I don't know where I'm going to fall. I also am afraid that some of this is going to go over my head because I know it's very academic. And sometimes I am afraid that I am not going to be smart enough for a book like this. But we're just gonna have to see what happens, and yeah, so if this doesn't happen, I don't know when it will, and that scares me also. So, yeah, here we are. And then we have also a book that has also been on my shelf for quite a while. I'm trying also to read a lot of my physical TBR as well. These are a lot of library books too, but I also wanted to include some my physical shelf. So I have the Cloisters too, which I know this one is also hit or miss. This is a dark academia fantasy that takes place in New York, I believe. Something about a Gothic museum. I honestly, again, don't know too much about it. It is very short, so I do feel like I can definitely get to this month. I think this also has some like thrilling vibes to it. So I would love to get this off of my physical TBR and include it in that vlog this month. And then we also have one more. It's a new release. It's All That Consumes Us. And as soon as I saw this cover, I knew I had to read it. Are you kidding me? The skeleton hands with This cover is everything. It's so pretty. I am like so tempted to go out and buy it. And I have been so good about that recently, of like using the library first, but this cover, there's just something about it that I'm like, I need it. I need it. This is also a YA dark academia, and the reason why this one caught my eye so much is because it says it's ninth house, which I did not enjoy, meets The Dead in the Dark, which was a 5-star read for me. So I feel like this is gonna fall in the camp of like, either I'm gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it, which just intrigues me that much more. This one follows an academy where the students that go there, they all get free tuition. Talk about privilege. I hope it's talked about a little bit in that book because wow. Anyways, and our main character gets offered a spot in the school, and when she gets there, it's a very kind of menacing school and some dark things start happening to her and also to like the building and that kind of thing. I think that's kind of what I've gathered. It just sounds like kind of your typical dark academia trope and plot line. You said The Dead in the Dark means ninth house, and like I have to because of how much I loved The Dead in the Dark. So I am excited to get that one, and I would love to include it in that vlog as well. So it's kind of a hefty list. Again, we'll have to whittle it down and see, or maybe I'll just get to them all. We just don't even know. We don't know what could happen. But like that's the beauty of a TBR, okay? And then I'm also doing 2 buddy reads this month because reading books with your friends, it just makes it so much more fun. Especially when you have someone to talk to like immediately because you're on the same page or you're like reading the same section, you get to talk things back and forth with. It's so fun. So I highly recommend doing buddy reads with your friends. So the first one that I'm doing is with my friend Melissa. We've done a few buddy reads so far. We did Middle Game, and then we also did Sadie in the summertime. And now we are moving on to Gideon the Ninth, and I am so stoked for this one because I love buddy reading fantasy, because I feel like if there's a point where something's going on and you're not really sure what's happening, you have someone to talk it out with. Doing a buddy read of Middle Game together was like game changing because we were able to like chat it out immediately and be like, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And I am excited to do that again with Gideon the Ninth. This is a series again that I've been wanting to get into. I've heard nothing but incredible things about this. All I know about this one is that it's a female-driven fantasy. It's queer, I believe, and that we have a main character who is wanting to like kind of hang up her sword a bit, and she goes to like make an escape from her world or whatever, and then some things happen, obviously. There's like, you know, heavy politics and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be the perfect buddy read because, again, like I said, you know, we can talk it out, and if anything is like going over our heads, we're there for each other. We are there for each other. So I'm excited to get to this one and buddy read it with Melissa. And then the second buddy read, I'm going to be reading A History of Wild Places by Shea Ernshaw with Kendall from Bookphoria. I read The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw last month, and I messaged Kendall because I had gotten the recommendation from her, and I was like, thank you so much for recommending that book because I freaking loved it, and like I need to dive more into like her backlist because her writing's incredible. I really enjoyed it. And she was like, wow, I've been wanting to read this book for a while. I had no idea that this was the same author. I feel really silly about it, but I had zero clue. And this has been on my TBR for a while. It is an adult thriller. If it is anything like The Wicked Deep's writing, it's going to be gorgeous. So we decided to do a buddy read, and I could not be more stoked about it. Kendall is one of my favorite people on this planet. She is the kindest, sweetest human you will ever encounter. Her videos are incredible. I literally get so many recommendations from her. Like, truly, my TBR grows with every video she puts out. So if you haven't checked her out yet, I will link her below. You need to. I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, you need to. Regardless, we're gonna be doing a buddy read this month, and I am just so over the moon about it. And all I know about this one is that we are following a main character who has like a knack for finding missing people, and he takes on a new case and something happens. I don't know if this includes any sort of like fantastical element to it or if it's truly just thriller. I don't know. I don't care to know. I'm just gonna go in and have a blast with Kendall, and like hopefully we both end up loving it. So those are my buddy reads for the month. If that wasn't enough, I do have a stack of like rogue books that just like, if the mood strikes, if I finish all of these before, you know, the end of the month, or just like we are in a total mood read and I need something in between, I have these to turn to. Will I get to them? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna throw them in here as like a quite possibly could happen. So this will probably for sure happen. I have the next volume of Spy Family. This is the newest one. I've been waiting for this at my library since it came out. It's literally been like checked out the entire time since it came out. So I'm going to be reading this for sure sometime this month, but I'm excited for it. Also, this kid. And then I also have, feel like this book is going to be perfect for November and like just the total vibes of the year. I don't know, something about it is just screaming, read this now, and that's Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Have not read this yet. Surprisingly, I do feel like it's going to be something that I absolutely love. I hope. My only caveat to that is that I am one of the few people that did not enjoy the Night Circus that much. Don't come for me, okay? I just did not. I'm hoping that this is like everything that I wished the Night Circus did. Will that happen? I'm not sure, but I'm excited to find out. I know this series is beloved by so many people, so I hope that I love it and I don't have that polarizing opinion like I do about the Night Circus. Anyways, so we have that on the list, and then I have 2 books that I didn't get to in October that I would still like to read. I feel like this will happen kind of earlier in November, and that is Hex Education, which is a witchy horror, it's kind of lighthearted horror by Maureen Kilmer. She's the same author as Suburban Hell. Get to it in October, so hoping to get to it this month. And then we have The Starling House by Alix Harrow. This was a horror that I really wanted to get to, but just time happened. And honestly, I wish I had picked this over some of the other books that I had read. But unfortunately, I cannot turn back time now. So hopefully I will get to that this month and just have a heck of a good time. Kind of finish out the scary reads of the season and then dive into the more cozy, fantastical reads. That sounds like a good plan to me. That is all of the books that I have planned to read in the month of November. I definitely feel like I'm gonna be more of a mood reader this month, so what will be included in the vlogs, we will have to see. Only time will tell. If there's anything that you would like to see included in the vlogs, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you're like, oh my god, no, definitely include that in the Dark Academia one, or definitely include that in the New Fantasy one, let me know. Yeah, I'm just excited about this TBR. I feel like it definitely screams me and my reading taste, and like, I love that. You know, sometimes it's fun to like step outside your comfort zone, but I feel like sometimes it doesn't always go to plan. That was October for me, and I'm just excited to like read more that aligns with like my personal taste and just have a blast. So let me know what you plan on reading in the comments as well. Are any of these books on your TBR for the month of November too? That would be so fun. Definitely let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future